My name is Adrian, and I'm an investigative journalist from Poland, driven by a thirst for uncovering hidden truths. Chernobyl held a profound significance for me, not only as a haunting scar in history but also due to a personal connection. My grandparents had been affected by the disaster, forced to abandon their home and lives. Inspired by their resilience, I embarked on this journey to capture their stories and unravel the mysteries that shrouded Chernobyl. Filled with trepidation and excitement, I packed my gear ready to confront the demons lurking within its irradiated walls. Little did I know that this expedition would push me into a sinister web of conspiracy, blurring the lines between reality and nightmare, forever changing the course of my life. We were a group of intrepid travelers united by a shared curiosity and a thirst for the unknown. The journey ahead would take us deep into the heart of the Chernobyl exclusion zone, a place shrouded in mystery and haunted by the ghosts of the past. Our guide, Igor, regaled us with tales of the ill-fated Chernobyl disaster, his voice tinged with a mix of reverence and melancholy, painted vivid pictures of a once vibrant city reduced to a post-apocalyptic wasteland. As we approached the border of the exclusion zone, the landscape began to transform. The lush green countryside gave way to desolation and decay, a stark reminder of the event that had unfolded here decades ago. As we drove deeper into the heart of the exclusion zone, a palpable sense of unease had settled over the van. The silence that permeated the air seemed to amplify the weight of the past, the residual energy of lives disrupted and dreams shattered. Through the windows we caught glimpses of abandoned buildings, their crumbling facades standing as a testament to the transience of human existence. It was amidst the eerie silence of Pripyat that my fascination with the strange and unexplained lured me away from the safety of the group. A stray cat, with its radiant blue eyes and matted fur, darted playfully through the remnants of the city, drawing me deeper into the labyrinth of abandoned streets. The curious creature seemed almost otherworldly, an enigmatic guide leading me toward an unseen destiny. As I ventured further into the forgotten alleys of the city, the echoes of my companions faded into oblivion. The weight of solitude settled upon my shoulders, both thrilling and unnerving in its intensity. It was as if I had crossed an invisible threshold, stepping into a realm where time and reality had intertwined, where the boundaries between the living and the departed became blurred. In my solitary exploration, I stumbled upon a hidden path concealed beneath a tangle of ivy and overgrown shrubbery. It beckoned to me, an invitation to uncover secrets long buried in the annals of history. My curiosity overpowered any trepidation, propelling me forward further into the heart of the enigma. The hidden path led me to a dilapidated building, its weathered facade standing defiantly against the ravages of time. The faded sign, barely visible amidst the peeling paint, identified it as Laboratory 23. The air crackled with an aura of mystery as I hesitated at the threshold, my heart pounding. Stepping into the forsaken laboratory, I found myself in a time capsule frozen in a perpetual state of abandonment. Broken glass and discarded equipment littered the floor, remnants of a hasty retreat. The air carried the scent of rust and decay, a haunting perfume that hung heavy in the atmosphere. Amidst the wreckage, my eyes fell upon a collection of documents scattered across the table. Their faded pages held cryptic symbols, enigmatic diagrams that seemed to dance with arcane knowledge. As I traced the lines with my trembling fingers, a sense of foreboding washed over me. It was as if these documents were a portal into a realm of forbidden knowledge, a Pandora's box that held the darkest of secrets. Driven to find out, I delved deeper into the lab's forgotten chambers. Within the dimly lit recesses, I discovered a hidden room, concealed behind a heavy rusted door. The moment that it creaked open, I knew that I had unearthed something unimaginable. The room was lined with shelves, each holding a multitude of binders meticulously labeled with names. As I perused the contents of the binders, a wave of disbelief washed over me. Each name was accompanied by a photograph, a face frozen in time. But it was not the faces themselves that sent a chill down my spine. It was the realization that these were the faces of missing individuals, those that had vanished without a trace from society. One binder in particular caught my attention. It bore the chilling label, Clones. Opening it, I discovered an unsettling truth. The missing individuals had been cloned, their lives replicated in secrecy within the confines of this clandestine laboratory. The implications of such a revelation were staggering, a betrayal of humanity that defied comprehension. The weight of the evidence that I had collected threatened to crush my spirit. The room, suffused with an oppressive aura, seemed to tighten its grip around me. With the photographs and documents securely tucked away in my bag, I turned to leave, determined to escape the clutches of this nightmare. But as I moved toward the exit, a peculiar sensation prickled at the back of my neck, sending shivers down my spine. It was as if the air itself had carried an ominous whisper, a ghostly echo of footsteps echoing through the desolate laboratory. Fear seized me, freezing me in place. The realization dawned upon me like a chilling gust of wind. I wasn't alone in this place. Someone or something else lurked within the shadows, drawing nearer with each passing moment. The excitement of discovery mingled with a growing sense of dread, creating a disorienting cocktail of emotions. In that harrowing instant, instinct took hold, overriding rational thought. Without a moment's hesitation, I pivoted on my heels and bolted towards the exit, my heart pounding in my chest. Panic fueled my every step as I navigated through the dimly lit corridors, the clamor of my own breath and the echoing footfalls of my pursuer, serving as a macabre soundtrack to my escape. Every shadow seemed to shift, morphing into a sinister figure posed to snatch me back into the clutches of the unknown. Adrenaline coursed through my veins, propelling me forward. My only goal was to break free from this labyrinth of horrors. The very air seemed to thicken, as if resisting my frantic escape, but sheer determination fueled my desperate flight. Finally, I burst through the door, gasping for breath, my pulse thundering in my ears. The world outside of the laboratory, though still cloaked in an eerie silence, had felt like salvation. I sprinted through the desolate halls, never looking back, each step propelling me further from the unseen terror that had pursued me. It was only when I had reached the relative safety of the open air, the sun casting long shadows across the abandoned landscape, that I allowed myself a moment to collect my thoughts. Beads of sweat trickled down my forehead as I leaned against a crumbling wall, trying to steady my racing heart. The weight of the encounter pressed upon me, a reminder that the horrors lurking in the unknown were far more menacing than I could have ever imagined. I knew deep down that the discovery I had made in that foreboding laboratory had unleashed something far greater than I had anticipated. It was a truth that demanded to be revealed, but it also posed a danger that threatened to consume me. With trembling hands, I clutched the bag containing the evidence, the only tangible proof of the conspiracy that I had encountered. With renewed determination, I vowed to bring the truth to light, no matter the personal cost. The echoes of footsteps and the ghostly whispers would forever haunt my memory, driving me forward into the heart of darkness, preparing to confront the unimaginable horrors that lay ahead. After all rational judgment, I made the fateful decision to return to the forsaken laboratory, driven by a thirst for the truth that burned deep within my soul. The weight of the knowledge that I had gained hung heavily upon my shoulders, propelling me forward into the heart of danger where few dared to tread. As I cautiously stepped into the decaying lab, the air seemed to grow heavier, pregnant with an otherworldly presence. The soft glow of my flashlight illuminated the desolate scene before me. Each creak of the floorboards echoed like a spectral cry, a warning from the spirits of those whose lives had been extinguished in this place. With renewed determination, I retraced my steps, re-examining the cryptic documents and peculiar biological equipment that had initially captivated my attention. But now, armed with new insights, I saw beyond the surface. I deciphered the symbols etched onto the aged papers, connecting them to knowledge hidden within ancient texts and whispered legends. As I moved further into the chambers, the air became charged with an electric energy, as if the very walls pulsed with the secrets they held. Each room held its own story, its own secrets waiting to be unraveled. I meticulously examined every piece of equipment, every forgotten notebook, uncovering a web of interconnected experiments that went far beyond human cloning. The further that I delved into the lab, the stronger the sensation of being watched became. Paranoia gnawed at the edges of my mind, as if unseen eyes tracked my every move. Shadows seemed to dance in the corners of my vision, fleeting glimpses of a presence that eluded my grasp. The air crackled with a malevolent energy, leaving me on edge, my senses heightened to every flicker of movement and every whisper of sound. Strange occurrences plagued me, testing the limits of my sanity. Objects inexplicably shifted positions as if moved by unseen hands. Whispers, barely audible, resonated through the empty corridors, their messages fueling my determination to find out what happened. Each encounter with the unseen presence left me trembling, yet I pressed forward, compelled by the curiosity mixed with a gnawing dread. With each moment, the veil between the tangible and the intangible seemed to thin, blurring the boundaries of reality. I began to question my own perceptions, wondering if the presence haunting the lab was merely a figment of my imagination or something far worse. It was as if the very walls held the memories of those who had suffered and perished in this place, their specters reaching out from the past to guide or deceive me. Piece by piece, the puzzle began to reveal the true magnitude of the conspiracy that had been woven within the walls of the Chernobyl laboratory. The disaster had been orchestrated, a calculated smokescreen to mask the clandestine operations of human cloning and organ trafficking. The government, intertwined with a powerful and sinister cabal, had exploited the chaos and devastation to carry out their own heinous deeds. Through a network of corrupted scientists and government officials, they had perfected the art of human cloning and creating identical duplicates to fulfill their nefarious agenda. These clones were mere commodities, their lives extinguished to harvest their organs, which were then sold on the black market to the highest bidders. As I pieced together the fragments, my mind reeled with the implications. The very fabric of society had been torn apart, with those in power manipulating the lives of countless individuals for their own gain. But as these shadows of the truth began to coalesce, so did the darkness that had been lurking within the lab. I was confronted by unidentified individuals, their faces concealed behind masks of shadows. I found myself cornered, my heart pounding in my chest. Panic surged through my veins as I fought against overwhelming odds, desperately clinging to the sliver of hope that remained. In my desperation, a blow to the head sent me spiraling into unconsciousness, my fate hanging in the balance. What awaited me on the other side remained a terrifying mystery, as I teetered on the precipice of oblivion, caught between the harsh reality and the realm of nightmares. When I finally regained consciousness, I found myself alone in the eerie lab, the ominous silence enveloping me like a suffocating shroud. As my vision cleared, I realized with a sinking feeling that all the physical evidence that I had painstakingly collected had vanished. leaving behind only blank empty pages and hollow photographs. It was as if the truth itself had been stripped away, erased by an unknown force that sought to bury the secrets that I had uncovered. How could the evidence disappear so mysteriously, I wondered, leaving no trace of the monstrous conspiracy that had threatened the very fabric of humanity? Doubt crept in, whispering insidious questions about my sanity and the validity of my discoveries. But deep down I knew that I had seen the truth, felt its chilling touch, and I couldn't let it be silenced. Drawing upon the last reserves of my strength, I rose from the cold and barren floor. Every muscle ached and every joint protested, but my resolve burned brighter than ever. The forces that sought to bury the truth would not deter me. With a renewed sense of purpose, I vowed to press forward to continue the fight against the darkness that had infiltrated Chernobyl. Steeling myself, I navigated the corridors, my senses on high alert for any signs of danger. The lab had become a graveyard of secrets, its walls bearing silent witness to the atrocities committed within its forsaken halls. As I ventured deeper, I clung to the flickering flame of hope, knowing that the final chapter of this harrowing journey was yet to unfold. With every step that I took, I knew that I was walking a treacherous path, one that could lead to my own demise. But the truth had become my unwavering guide, guiding me through the murky depths of the unknown. As the final pieces of the puzzle fell into place, I prepared myself for the ultimate confrontation. The shadowy figures who had cornered me before would not have the final say, but every shadow seemed to breathe, every creak of the decaying structure echoed like a sinister whisper. The air hung heavy with an oppressive silence, broken only by the sound of my own ragged breath. Fear gripped my heart, but the urgency to expose the truth propelled me forward. As I neared the exit, a surge of relief mingled with a haunting sense of loss. Leaving behind the laboratory meant stepping into a world forever altered by the knowledge that I knew. The once familiar reality now appeared distorted, as if a veil had been lifted to reveal the sinister undercurrents that flowed beneath the surface. Back to safety, I struggled to find a voice amidst the cacophony of disbelief and dismissals. The physical evidence that I had collected, once concrete proof of the conspiracy, now lay blank and empty. But with that, the world, ensnared in its own illusions and complacency, rejected my claims. Labeled a conspiracy theorist, my words fell on deaf ears. The weight of frustration and isolation threatened to extinguish the flame of truth within me, but I refused to give up. With nowhere else to go, I've decided to share my story with you. To believe it or not to believe it, that's your choice, but now you know the truth.